very young, very up and coming Philadelphia 76ers, I was shocked. I'm not going to lie, I was shocked. And they did it with such poise that it makes me think that this isn't just going to be a one-time fluke thing. I think this Boston team can really pull out the wins whenever they need to, and it just showed the experience and the size difference when it comes to, well, maybe not size difference, but the age and the progression of a team that's been able to form together opposed to a young elite team that's still up and coming. That's where I think the biggest difference is. They've been there. You know, players on Boston have been in this situation. In Philadelphia, as you know, as much as I love them, they're new to this. You know, they've been in the doghouse every single year for the last 10. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the series. I still think it's going to be a close series. I really do. I would love personally to see Philadelphia pull it out. I'm in love with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. I just think they're one of the best 1-2 punch in the entire NBA. But with the age and the range and the cohesiveness of this Boston group, I don't know if they will get it done. I'm really excited to see what happens going forward.
Yeah, Boston last night, 2 nights ago, when they beat the 76ers 117-101. They shot 17 for 35 from 3. Terry Rozier, 7 for 9 from 3. And let me see if I can pull up Terry Rozier's career three-point shooting ability. His rookie year, shot 22% from 3. His sophomore year, 32% from 3. And this year in the regular season, 38% from 3. And now in the playoffs, he was shooting 43% from 3. So look, it's not just one guy who is going to progress all these players. It's not just one guy who's going to be able to teach them to do this or do that or be a team. But Brad Stevens and the entirety of that staff, Danny Ainge, the general manager, have done just an exquisite job. And that is really, you know, the type of organization you want to underline and highlight and circle and say, this is the type of organization that can get things done no matter what can happen. Because you look how quickly they transitioned away from the Big Three era where they had Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, add in Rajon Rondo there. And, you know, within a couple of years, now they're a perennial, you know, number 1 seed, number 2 seed, Eastern Conference Finals contender. And they have obviously one of the, if not the best coach in the NBA. I would say it's him and Greg Popovich. It's just, it amazes me the fact they can bring Jason Tatum in, they can bring Terry Rozier in, even a guy like Aaron Baines, who not heralded. I mean, he doesn't do a ton on the stat sheet, but is able to do a lot of things that the Celtics need him to do. Marcus Smart, a defensive bulldog, and then bringing in guys like one of the Morris twins and Shane Larkin. Shout out to University of Miami basketball, whom my stepbrother or brother-in-law worked with, so he's a big Shane Larkin fan. To just bring them in and allow them to do their thing and play NBA basketball against a team that's in the conference semifinals against Philadelphia and be able to play at such a high level is really the ultimate testament to an organization. I mean, it's easy enough to be able to say, hey, we picked LeBron number 1 overall and he became, you know, the best or one of the best players ever in NBA history. It's another thing to say, hey, we picked Terry Rozier, you know, late in the first round or in the second round and developed him into a guy who can be a starting point guard on a whim if our 2 other point guards can't get it done. So Boston is really a marvel in my opinion, and it's almost, you know, you could say now with the way that the Kawhi Leonard situation has gone down in San Antonio, you could say they are the marquee, you know, organization that you could say is run as well as possible and is run in a way that you want your favorite team to be run.
Yeah, I agree. It's a fun series to watch.
All right, prediction for this series. I think all the rest of them we gave our predictions. What's your prediction for this series?
I know. Gosh, because my heart is telling me to go with Philly.
Yep.
But my head's telling me go Boston.
Okay.
As much as I talk Boston up, I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I'm going to say Philly in 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say too. I'm going to say Philly in 7. I think the best players in this series are still Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and I think Ben Simmons has a big Game 7 if it doesn't go to a Game 7, even though it will be in Boston for that. And I just think this could be, I mean, they could have a very, very quick ascension to the Eastern Conference throne if they do that and then play either the Cleveland Cavaliers or Toronto Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, Bobby, as you know for sure, as I know for sure, and I hope everyone listening out there knows, the NFL Draft was last weekend. And Bobby's got some thoughts about that, as do I. So we're going to talk about that when we come back. This is Club in the Goods. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Thank you for listening. I keep on accidentally pressing the wrong spot. Now, Club in the Goods, thank you for listening.
You're listening to Club in the Goods.
I was up late night balling, so far from my past misfortune. No sleeping, late nights, no eating, gun squeezing. I'm a real artesian, Ramona. I was round that counter, still down. I'm a North soldier.
Hello, friends. It's your pal Alex Klupper here to talk about something we all love, but maybe take advantage of sometimes. Something that's always there for you on your bad days, ready to pick you up and turn that dadgum frown of yours upside down. That's right, you guessed it, I'm talking about tequila. Now maybe you haven't thought about that clear little devil liquid sitting up there in your cabinet lately, but don't you think maybe it's time you should? For those times you thought, I wonder what it'd feel like to pants that police officer over there. Or maybe you've always wanted to interrupt a quaint family game night at the old parents' house by stumbling into the room and challenging your father into a fist fight. Or maybe you simply want to spend the next 5 hours hugging your best friend toilet, screaming why into its shiny porcelain whiteness, and contemplating why a benevolent God would curse the world with such a concoction. Whatever it is you feel like doing tonight, make sure you include a little bit, or a lot of it, of that sweet syrup caliente, tequila. Tequila for when gin just won't do it. Hi there, Alex Klupper from Club in the Goods here. Seeing as how Bob and myself are just getting this whole thing started again, we thought we'd reach a hand out to you across the interwebs, unfurl that hand slowly yet assuredly, and slowly caw into your ear. Got any change, bruh? Now see, Bobby and myself are both hardworking men, but this is still a hobby. And you know, maybe one day we'd like it to be a little bit more? Well, that's where you come in, my friend. If you or your business is looking to get your name out there to the millions of Cluppiacs and Goodsians out there, now is your chance. Shoot me an email at abklupper@gmail.com or reach out to me on Twitter and let's talk business. Cool? Cool. Now, back to Club in the Goods on Spreaker Radio.
We don't believe you, because we the people are still here in the rear, yo, we don't need you.
All right, Bobby, we are back. Club in the Goods, Alex Klupper, Bobby Goodsby, here on May 2nd, 2018.
It's crazy, I think it's already May.
Yes.
Like this year, it's just flying by.
It has flown by, Bobby. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. You know what's also crazy, Bobby? The Cleveland Browns on draft night, picking first and fourth, Baker Mayfield going first overall to Cleveland Browns, yet another hopeful franchise player, franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Bobby, I know you had a strong opinion on Baker. I want to hear you give it, and then I'm going to respond.
Yes. Well, towards the end of the week before the draft came about, there was a lot of chatter that the Browns were interested in Baker Mayfield. You know, I'm not very high on Baker Mayfield. I think that he is a lot of a Johnny Manziel-esque. And how fitting is it that he winds up on Johnny Manziel's old team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh my gosh, we're talking too much basketball. The Cleveland Browns. And I just think, I want to give the kid credit. Because I don't know the kid. You know, I don't know what he can do at the next level. But watching him play in college, he's got the certain intangibles that work, but he doesn't have the full package, in my opinion. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope he goes on to have a stellar career with lots of MVPs and Super Bowl championships. Are never going to happen. And, you know, just everything. I hope the best for him. But the fact is, he's 6 feet tall. You know, he's a guy that has to move out of the pocket, and he makes downfield passes, but he's the type of player that I feel like is a dying breed when it comes to the NFL. And I feel like NFL defenses are much faster than college defenses, and they're going to be able to pick up on the way he plays, and it's going to cause him to have to throw outside the pocket and make quick throws, which I think he'll end up throwing into coverage, and I think he'll have a bunch of interceptions. I just don't see his style playing well in the NFL. There's very few guys his size with his ability that play well. Granted, he could be like a Russell Wilson where, he has the intangibles, he's got the pocket presence, he can scramble outside the pocket, make the down the field throws, and be a great player. I just don't see the Russell Wilson in him. I don't see the ability to rush out the pocket like that. And to see him as an NFL pro overall, I just felt like the Browns could have done so much more with this pick. I mean, if you look at it, the best player in the entire draft was easily Saquon Barkley. Hands down, Barkley was the best player in the NFL draft. So if you would have taken Saquon Barkley, number one, and then you could have gotten any of the remainder quarterbacks available, which there was a bunch, and in my opinion, they're all very similar in ability when it came to playing in the NFL. So take Saquon Barkley, number one, who's easily the best player in the draft. Hope that, number two and number three aren't the quarterback you want. I mean, they could have gotten Barkley in the 4th overall pick. I still think the Jets would have taken him, but not Barkley, excuse me, Mayfield at the number 4 overall pick. I think the Jets would have taken him, but who knows? We don't know. They might have loved Sam Darnold and wanted Sam Darnold over Baker Mayfield anyways. I just question marks. I think he's not a day one starter. In my mind, I think he will be the day one starter, but in my mind, I don't think he is a day one starter. I think they're going to rush him on the field. And also, on top of all that, you saw the antics that got him in trouble off the field. Between, running from tased in Arkansas to, doing an obscene gesture towards the Kansas players because they wouldn't shake his hand on the field. Stabbing the O at Ohio State after they won the game. It's not like those last two are as big of a deal, but it just shows that NFL defenses aren't going to like that. They're not going to handle that. They're not going to put up with your cocky attitude. He's going to get a reality check and see it happen, because as much as his teammates might love the fact that he's like that and he's feisty and he's a great leader, that's all good. But NFL defenses are so much bigger, stronger, faster that they're going to put you in your place real quick, kid. And that's why I think he's not going to be great when it comes to the next level. So I was not in love with the pick. I understand it from his perspective. If that's your guy and you need a quarterback as badly as the Browns do, and you think Baker Mayfield's your guy to take you to the next level, I get it. Take him. I just don't agree with the pick. I think go Saquon Barkley. Get someone else with the number 4 overall pick that's going to be the guy that you can build your team around. And then you have 2 of the best players in the entire draft right there at your disposal. They ended up going with Ward with the 4th overall pick, which blew my mind over Bradley Chubb, but we'll get into that in a bit. I wasn't in love with the Browns draft. I'm not in love with Mayfield. Let me know what you think, because I just think there could have been so many better choices for them.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of strange afterwards. The new Browns GM, John Dorsey, I believe his name is, he was just so complimentary of what he thought Baker Mayfield's leadership style and his mentality and his fieriness and all of that played into what the Browns needed. And that was kind of his thing. He's saying, we can make the throws, but what we really liked is he's going to be a leader from day one. He's going to be a guy that guys want to rally around, and he's going to lead this team and yada, 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 have like the mental makeup to be the guy for this team. And Chris Sylvester and I talked about this a little bit because we did the Sports Bite before Friday night's baseball game, Cal Poly versus UCLA. And my point was, look, college kids may very well go for exactly what Baker Mayfield is trying to sell. I mean, he was, 21, 22, and he's quarterback there. And, he's obviously the best player on the team. He's a quarterback. He's, eventual Heisman winner, a guy that has been to the college football playoff twice now. but he's going to be trying to lead a locker room that is full of 20